Welcome, gents. Power is most effective when no one can see where it's coming from. The Sigma male has mastered the rarest skill in modern life, the art of invisibility. Not the kind that hides out of fear, but the kind that operates with precision. He moves through the world quietly, watching, learning, and acting with purpose. His silence is not weakness, it's strategy. While others compete for attention and validation, he protects his energy, choosing when and where to be seen. Hiding in plain sight is not about disappearing from the world. It's about mastering it from the shadows. The Sigma male understands that control comes from unpredictability. When people can't read him, they can't manipulate him. When they underestimate him, he gains room to move freely and think clearly. His calm presence, his selective speech, and his unreadable nature all serve a deeper purpose: to live on his own terms without being pulled into society's constant noise. What makes him truly different is that he doesn't hide to avoid life. He hides to live it fully. He values peace over popularity, truth over validation, and self-mastery over performance. The world may overlook him at first, but they never forget him once they cross his path. The Sigma male's strength lies in this quiet paradox. He is both invisible and unforgettable, silent yet aware, calm yet calculating. In a world obsessed with being seen, he proves that sometimes the greatest power comes from being perfectly hidden, yet completely in control. Let's get started, gents. Number 1. They disguise intelligence as curiosity. One of the smartest things about Sigma males is that they never make a show of how much they know. They understand that wisdom isn't about proving you're right. It's about seeing how much more there is to learn. So instead of trying to impress people with what they know, they do something far more powerful. They ask questions, simple ones, the kind that seem ordinary on the surface, but reveal a mind that's deeply aware. When a Sigma male speaks, he doesn't throw facts or theories at people. He'll ask something like, "Why do you think people change when they get power?" Or, "What do you think makes someone truly trustworthy?" Questions like these sound casual, but they open doors to deeper conversations. Through them, he learns more about people's values, fears, and motivations without having to expose much about himself. It's not manipulation, it's understanding. He lets others talk while he listens carefully, catching the things they don't say as much as the words they do. In a world where everyone is desperate to be heard, he chooses to listen, and that alone makes him different. You'll notice that people often underestimate him at first. They might mistake his curiosity for inexperience or assume he doesn't know much. But as the conversation unfolds, they start to realize he's 2 steps ahead, guiding the discussion without ever trying to dominate it. It's like watching a calm river carry everything along without force. This is how Sigma males keep their power quiet. They don't need to flash their intelligence because true intelligence doesn't scream, it observes. They know that the person who listens more learns faster, and the one who asks better questions controls the direction of every conversation. By disguising intelligence as curiosity, Sigma males never threaten egos, never reveal their full hand, yet always walk away with more understanding than anyone else in the room. Number 2, they don't correct misconceptions about them. One of the most underrated powers of a Sigma male is his ability to stay silent when people misunderstand him. Most people rush to defend their image, to prove they're right, or to clear up every rumor that floats around. But not the Sigma male. He has learned that sometimes the smartest move is to say nothing at all. He understands that people will always build stories in their minds, and he refuses to waste his peace trying to rewrite them. When someone misjudges him, he doesn't argue. When others gossip or twist his motives, he doesn't explain himself. He knows that defending the truth to the wrong audience is a form of self-disrespect. So he lets people talk while he quietly moves on with his plans. Their confusion becomes his protection. It keeps people guessing and gives him the freedom to live without constantly being watched or understood. This mindset makes him unpredictable, and that unpredictability is power. Think about it. When people can't figure you out, they can't control you. They don't know what you're thinking, what you'll do next, or where you're headed. That mystery keeps them curious, sometimes even uneasy. Imagine a coworker who tries to provoke you with gossip, expecting you to react. Instead, you smile, stay calm, and continue with your day. That silence speaks louder than any defense could. Over time, people realize they can't read you, and that forces them to respect your space. Sigma males don't need everyone to understand them because they know that truth always reveals itself with time. They save their explanations for those who genuinely deserve to hear them. The rest can live with their assumptions. This quiet self-assurance isn't arrogance, it's maturity. It's the kind of peace that comes when you realize not every battle deserves your energy. Sometimes letting people stay confused is the best way to protect both your truth and your freedom. Number 3, they wear normality as armor. A Sigma male understands something most people never realize. Being unnoticed can be one of the most powerful positions in life. While others chase attention and validation, he wears normality like armor. He doesn't need to walk into a room and announce his presence. He doesn't crave to be the loudest or the most visible. Instead, he blends in so smoothly that people rarely see the strength hidden beneath his calm exterior. He knows that when people think you're ordinary, they lower their guard. They talk freely, they reveal their thoughts, and they underestimate you. And that is exactly where his power lies. While others are busy trying to shine, he's busy learning, planning, and understanding the game from the inside. He hides his sharpness behind a quiet demeanor, allowing others to misread his silence as simplicity. It's like watching a chess player who acts like he's just learning the rules while secretly calculating 10 moves ahead. That's the Sigma way, silent, strategic, and untouchable. People overlook him until the moment he decides to make a move, and by then, it's already too late for them to catch up. He doesn't need flashy clothes, loud opinions, or dramatic gestures to feel powerful. His power comes from control. Control over his emotions, his image, and his timing. When people can't predict you, they can't stop you. And when they underestimate you, you can move freely while they expose their weaknesses. In a world obsessed with visibility, the Sigma male's ability to remain unseen becomes a kind of superpower. He lets others exhaust themselves chasing validation while he builds silently behind the scenes. By the time people realize his influence, it's already established. What looked like normality was really strategy all along. That's the beauty of a Sigma male. He hides in plain sight, and that's exactly what makes him untouchable. Number 4, they understand the illusion of attention. Sigma males understand a truth that many people ignore. Attention is not always a reward. Most people crave it because it makes them feel seen, validated, and relevant. But the Sigma male has learned that the spotlight can be a trap. He knows that the moment people start watching you, they start expecting from you. The more visible you become, the more opinions, pressure, and judgment you invite. And for a man who values peace, that's too high a price to pay. Instead of chasing attention, he studies what it does to others. He watches how people change when eyes are on them, how they start performing instead of living, how they shape their choices around what will be praised instead of what truly matters to them. He sees how social media turns confidence into competition and vulnerability into entertainment. And so, he chooses a different path, one of quiet mastery. He would rather build in private than perform in public. When he succeeds, he doesn't announce it. When he struggles, he doesn't seek pity. His movements are deliberate, but never displayed. Because once people can track your every step, they can also interfere, criticize, or copy it. Think of it like a poker game. The moment you reveal your hand, everyone knows how to play against you. But if you stay unreadable, you stay in control. The Sigma male applies that logic to life. His silence, his mystery, and his lack of online presence are not signs of insecurity. They are tools of protection. He understands that attention creates illusions. People start believing they know you when they only see fragments, so he guards his privacy like treasure. The fewer people who know what he's doing, the freer he becomes to do it his way. True power in his eyes is not being seen. It's being known only by choice. Number 5, they avoid emotional broadcasting. A Sigma male moves through life with emotional discipline that most people can't quite understand. While many wear their emotions like badges, reacting to everything that happens around them, he keeps his feelings guarded. It's not because he lacks emotion, but because he has learned how dangerous it is to let everyone see what you feel. The moment people know what triggers you, they can control you. And the Sigma male refuses to hand over that kind of power. He experiences pain, joy, and frustration like anyone else, but he processes it privately. When something bothers him, he doesn't explode or seek attention. He observes the emotion, understands it, and lets it pass quietly. That calmness unsettles people who expect dramatic reactions. They can't figure out whether he's unaffected or just too deep to read, and that mystery gives him an advantage. For example, imagine a heated argument where everyone is shouting and defending their point. The Sigma male stays quiet, listening. His silence doesn't mean surrender. It's strategy. While others burn energy proving themselves, he studies their tone, their words, their weaknesses. By the time he finally speaks, his calm voice cuts deeper than all the noise combined. He doesn't believe that every feeling deserves an audience. Happiness, sadness, anger, these are sacred to him. He prefers to process them alone rather than turn them into a spectacle. This emotional restraint makes him incredibly steady, especially in situations that make others lose control. People may call him cold or distant, but what they don't see is that he values peace over performance. He knows that reacting to everything only exposes what's within, so he protects his emotions the way others protect their valuables. In a world that rewards loud expression, the Sigma male's quiet composure is his greatest strength. It's what keeps him centered while others lose balance. Number 6, they mix confidence with mystery. A Sigma male doesn't need to walk into a room and announce his presence. He doesn't rely on loud words or flashy displays to prove confidence. His power comes from something deeper, quieter, and far more magnetic. It's that calm certainty in his eyes, the way he moves without hesitation, the stillness that makes people curious about what lies beneath. He carries a silent authority that doesn't need to shout for attention. People feel it before they even understand it. Confidence for him is not about dominance, it's about control of himself, his emotions, and his environment. He knows who he is, and that self-awareness removes the need to prove anything. When he speaks, he does it with precision. When he acts, he does it with purpose. And when he chooses silence, it carries more weight than someone else's entire speech. That balance between confidence and mystery is what draws people in. Think of it like a movie scene where the quiet character enters a crowded room. He doesn't talk much, yet everyone subtly turns to notice him. It's not what he does, it's what he doesn't do that commands attention. The Sigma male lives that way every day. He doesn't reveal too much, doesn't rush to explain himself, and doesn't overshare his goals. That restraint keeps people guessing, and curiosity becomes his invisible pull. This combination of quiet confidence and mystery unsettles some and fascinates others. It makes people wonder what gives him that calm presence. Some assume it's experience, others think it's power. The truth is, it's both awareness and detachment. He doesn't seek to impress, he simply exists with purpose. The Sigma male understands that real confidence whispers. It doesn't need validation or applause. And the mystery he carries isn't an act. It's the natural result of a man who knows himself so completely that he doesn't need the world to confirm his worth. Number 7. They protect their past like classified information. A Sigma male treats his past like a vault, not because he is ashamed of it, but because he understands the value of privacy in a world where oversharing has become the norm. He knows that the more people know about your past, the easier it becomes for them to predict your future. So he keeps his history protected, revealing only what serves a purpose and concealing what keeps him strong. Every chapter of his life is carefully guarded. He doesn't tell stories just to impress or gain sympathy. When he chooses to share something, it's deliberate, a strategy, not sentiment. He might reveal a piece of his journey to connect with someone or to teach a lesson, but never enough to give anyone full access to his inner world. This control over what people know about him gives him quiet power. For instance, imagine two men in conversation. One talks endlessly about his achievements, failures, and heartbreaks, hoping to be understood. The other listens, shares a short story that reveals depth, then falls silent again. Guess who leaves the stronger impression? The Sigma male. His restraint builds curiosity. People want to know more, but he never gives them everything. That mystery protects him and keeps him unpredictable. He also knows that some memories are sacred. The pain he endured, the lessons he learned, and the people who shaped him, those are not stories for public consumption. They are the roots of his strength, and he guards them with the same caution a spy guards classified files. This secrecy isn't about being distant, it's about self-respect. He refuses to let the world dissect his life or use his past as ammunition. In a time when people trade vulnerability for validation, the Sigma male's silence stands out. His past belongs to him alone, and that privacy is one of his greatest forms of power. Number 8, they never overexpose themselves. A Sigma male understands that mystery is a form of strength. He never lays all his cards on the table because he knows that once people fully figure you out, they stop respecting your boundaries. So, he practices the art of controlled openness, sharing enough to connect but never enough to be fully known. His words are deliberate, his tone measured, and his silence is intentional. When he speaks, he gives people something to think about, not everything to analyze. He might share a personal story, but he leaves out the parts that reveal too much of his inner world. He knows that overexposure invites judgment, gossip, and unnecessary opinions. The Sigma male avoids that by mastering what to say and what to keep to himself. Think of it like a good movie that doesn't explain every detail. The scenes leave room for imagination, and that's what keeps people hooked. The Sigma male does the same in conversation. He leaves space for interpretation, allowing others to wonder about his thoughts, his motives, and his depth. People sense that there's more to him than he's letting on, and that unspoken mystery becomes part of his charm. He's also aware that not everyone deserves full access to his truth. Some people listen just to respond, not to understand. Others use what they know to gain control. By keeping parts of himself hidden, he protects his peace. He doesn't fake openness, but he practices emotional precision. He knows when to speak, when to stay quiet, and when to change the subject without seeming distant. This is why Sigma males often seem both approachable and unreachable at the same time. They make you feel seen, but never let you see all of them. In a world where people overshare for attention, their restraint stands out as power. The less they reveal, the more they are respected. And that balance between connection and mystery is what keeps their presence unforgettable. Number 9. They master the art of quiet dominance. A Sigma male doesn't need to be loud to be heard. His power doesn't come from volume or display, but from the quiet authority he naturally carries wherever he goes. When he walks into a room, he doesn't demand attention, it finds him. There's something about his presence that shifts the energy, even when he says nothing. It's the calm confidence in his posture, the focus in his eyes, and the sense of control he projects without trying. Quiet dominance is not about intimidation. It's about understanding energy and knowing how to use it wisely. The Sigma male has mastered that balance. He knows when to speak, when to remain silent, and when to act. He never tries to prove his worth because his actions already do that for him. While others compete for validation, he simply exists with assurance, and people can feel it. For example, picture a group debate where everyone is talking over each other, desperate to be heard. The Sigma male waits patiently. Then, when he finally speaks, the room goes silent. His words carry weight because they come from thought, not ego. That's quiet dominance. Influence earned through composure, not noise. He doesn't need approval because his confidence comes from within, not from applause. People often mistake his calm for detachment, but in truth, it's discipline. He doesn't waste energy on proving a point or controlling others. His control begins with himself, and that self-mastery commands natural respect. This kind of dominance isn't loud or visible, but it's undeniable. It's the reason people listen when he talks and notice when he leaves. His silence creates gravity, his confidence sets the tone, and his restraint becomes power. The Sigma male's quiet dominance is proof that real authority doesn't need a stage. It simply needs presence. Number 10. They move among noise like a ghost with purpose. A Sigma male can walk through the noisiest crowd and somehow remain untouched by it. While others get swept up in the chaos of opinions, trends, and validation, he glides through quietly, focused on what truly matters to him. He doesn't absorb the energy of the crowd, he observes it. He can be in the middle of a busy place yet feel completely centered, like a ghost moving with purpose, unseen by most, but deeply aware of everything. This ability to exist among noise without being consumed by it comes from deep self-control. The Sigma male doesn't need the crowd's approval to feel alive. He knows that the louder the world becomes, the more valuable silence is. While others lose themselves trying to fit in, he protects his individuality like a sacred flame. He listens, watches, and studies, but never lets the outside world rewrite who he is. Imagine being at a party where everyone is talking, laughing, and performing for attention. Somewhere in the corner there's one person who isn't trying to outshine anyone. He's calm, observant, almost invisible, yet something about his stillness draws people in. That's the Sigma male's quiet magnetism. His presence is subtle, but his energy lingers long after he's gone. He doesn't need to rebel loudly to show he's different. His refusal to conform speaks for itself. He's not disconnected from the world. He's just selective about what he lets in. He understands that blending in doesn't mean belonging, and that peace is far more valuable than popularity. This is why people often remember him even if they barely spoke to him. His silence carries meaning. His awareness leaves an impression. In a world addicted to noise, he stands out by being still. The Sigma male doesn't just move through the crowd. He moves through it with purpose, and that's what makes his invisibility unforgettable. Number 11. They speak less to listen more. A Sigma male understands something most people overlook. Silence is not emptiness, it's intelligence in motion. While others rush to speak, to prove a point or fill awkward gaps, he values the power of listening. He knows that every word spoken reveals something, and every silence hides something deeper. so he speaks less, not because he has nothing to say, but because he's busy gathering information, reading energy, and studying human behavior in real time. When he's in a conversation, he pays attention to what most people miss: the hesitation before a response, the slight shift in tone, the words people avoid. These tiny details tell him more than long speeches ever could. Every pause he takes is deliberate. It gives him space to process what's being said and observe how it's being said. People often mistake this quietness for shyness or indifference, but it's neither. It's awareness at work. For example, during a heated discussion, while others are quick to defend themselves, the Sigma male stays calm and silent. He's not avoiding the moment. He's analyzing it. He watches who reacts out of ego, who seeks validation, and who hides insecurity behind noise. By the time he chooses to speak, his words are precise, thoughtful, and impossible to ignore. He knows that the loudest voice rarely holds the deepest wisdom. True understanding requires patience, and patience begins with listening. The Sigma male uses silence as his greatest teacher, learning about others while revealing little about himself. In a world where everyone is talking but few are actually saying something meaningful, his quiet observation becomes a rare strength. His silence disarms arrogance, exposes truth, and earns respect without effort. Speaking less allows him to understand more, and that understanding gives him a quiet kind of power that no amount of noise can ever match. In final words, power is most effective when no one can see where it's coming from. The Sigma male has mastered the rarest skill in modern life, the art of invisibility. Not the kind that hides out of fear, but the kind that operates with precision. He moves through the world quietly, watching, learning, and acting with purpose. His silence is not weakness, it's strategy. While others compete for attention and validation, he protects his energy, choosing when and where to be seen. Hiding in plain sight is not about disappearing from the world, it's about mastering it from the shadows. The Sigma male understands that control comes from unpredictability. When people can't read him, they can't manipulate him. When they underestimate him, he gains room to move freely and think clearly. His calm presence, his selective speech, and his unreadable nature all serve a deeper purpose: to live on his own terms without being pulled into society's constant noise. What makes him truly different is that he doesn't hide to avoid life. He hides to live it fully. He values peace over popularity, truth over validation, and self-mastery over performance. The world may overlook him at first, but they never forget him once they cross his path. The Sigma male's strength lies in this quiet paradox. He is both invisible and unforgettable, silent yet aware, calm yet calculating. In a world obsessed with being seen, he proves that sometimes the greatest power comes from being perfectly hidden, yet completely in control. Thank you for watching, gents, and God bless you.